here. A couple of these I've actually disabled just because I was trying to get rid of some of the alarms, particularly earlier on in this series when you weren't really as familiar with your environment as you are now. So let's adjust the settings here. So I want to monitor virtual machines, specific conditions. I want to adjust the trigger here because maybe 95 that's too low. Maybe 90 is too low. Maybe 95 is better. And my warning, I'm going to bump it up to 85. It's just what I think I should do. I could also add an additional condition here by clicking the Add button. Oops, sorry, too many times. By clicking the Add button and adjusting what this trigger type is. So there's a whole boatload of trigger types in here that I could adjust. And then I have some minimal capacity for doing ands and ors over here. All right. Once that alarm triggers, what do I want to do? Okay. When do I want to report on it? So repeat the triggered alarm when the condition exceeds the range or every 5 minutes. And then ultimately, what do I want to do here under Actions? Now, I love this little screen, and I love how that VMware has actually created this screen because it's very, very logical. So if I have the action that I want to do, I don't know, send a notification email, or when the VM gets to be too much processor usage, just power it off. I don't do that, but you could. Let's say send a notification email, and I'll punch in whatever the configuration is there. I have 4 different settings changes or state changes that determine when I would do that. Okay, when I go from green to yellow, yellow to red, and then red to yellow and yellow to green. So as I'm moving up or down in the uh-oh meter here, from I'm okay to something's not good to uh-oh, something's really bad, and then back down again, for each one of those state changes, I can adjust whether I want to set it up once or whether I want to set it up multiple times. So useful tool. I love these alarms because computers are deterministic, right? You've got to do something to a computer or a scheduled processes to do something to a computer for it to use more resources or to change a state or really misbehave. And so if you have these alarms really well designed, if you've done a really good job of identifying these alarms, the ones that make sense for you, even adding in some new ones if you feel like, that can go a long way into ensuring that you are providing the best performance for the virtual machines that you have. These alarms, when you mate them together with the performance information that you have, are going to really ensure that you're doing a good job of making sure that those VMs behave appropriately. And if you go and delete them all or disable them like I did in your production environment, just don't do that, okay? So what have we talked about in this nugget? We've talked about the very miscellaneous topics associated with vCenter and administering alarms. We talked about the server settings. We talked about the scheduled tasks and the maps and how maps are just cool. We talked about the kind of APM-like roll-up and roll-down charts that we get with the vCenter server service and host agent status. And then we spent some fun time there looking at alarms, alarm triggers, and actions. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.